Hello everyone, and welcome to my analysis of the 6 recently revealed LEGO Batman 80th Anniversary sets that will be releasing in August of 2019. And starting off, here we have the first of the 6 sets, the $20 Mr. Freeze Batcycle Battle Set with 200 pieces and 3 minifigures. And just taking a look at the whole thing, this is an interesting set, definitely. I think that's the best way to put it. It's a very interesting set for 20 bucks. Starting off with the figures, on the left we have Mr. Freeze, and something you'll notice is that all the figures are based off of their rebirth designs in the comics, meaning that most of the figures are new designs, which is cool in a way. However, at the same time, considering that these sets are all apparently supposed to be celebrating Batman's 80th anniversary, it feels odd to just have them all be based off of the most recent interpretation. Not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for some, for some other versions of Batman stuff. But I mean, to be fair, I guess we just had the Batman movie that gave us kind of the most popular interpretations of most villains, so I mean, I get it. But this set does look cool. Mr. Freeze uses the Mysterio fishbowl headpiece, which is an interesting choice, and one I think looks pretty good. The face print is my favorite part of the figure, since it is really reminiscent not just of Rebirth Mr. Freeze, which is of course what it's meant to be, but it is also very reminiscent of both the Batman the Animated Series Mr. Freeze, how he looked in that, as well as how he looked in the original LEGO Batman line from 2006, which is something I have a lot of nostalgia for. And in general, I kind of think that this figure might have looked nicer if instead of doing the bare-armed, weird torso design from Rebirth, because, I really like the figure from the neck up. But everything from the neck down doesn't work for me. Maybe if they'd gone for more of, a suit, sort of like what he had in the animated series, that would have been cool. Cool. Maybe go with a nice blue design, give us harkening back to that original Batman stuff. I don't know, again, it's accurate to the source material, I just don't like the source material in this case. On the right, though, we have Batman and Robin. Robin is not exclusive. He comes in the Batcave as well, and he's alright. He's another Damian Wayne Robin, because of course he is. I mean, again, Rebirth. That's another thing. I kind of think it would have been cool if, since these sets are supposed to be celebrating all the many years of Batman, we could have gotten, at least a couple different Robins instead of just the one no one likes. But anyway, Damian has a new face that's better than his old one by the looks of it. He has a new torso that I don't care because we've gotten 80 Robin torsos. He has a spiky cape and he has short legs because he's too short to have mid legs, I guess. I don't know. That's kind of another reason I would have liked to have gotten a different Robin, because, say, a Dick Grayson or Tim Drake Robin would be the correct age and height to have mid legs, but we don't get any. And then Batman looks less terrible than the other Rebirth Batman that we've been getting since last year. The light gray one? That was ridiculous. But anyway, in fact, I actually do like the design of this one. I think the gold and the dark gray is a color that always works for LEGO Batman, and I'm glad when they use it. His face is also new, and for the first time, LEGO is abandoning the iconic white headband, because under the mask, there aren't any pictures of this, but I've seen it in leaks, under the mask, he's actually going to be wearing goggles, which is such a kooky thing. I mean, it's something they've done on the Mighty Micros before, but it's just so weird seeing that brought onto an official main LEGO Batman figure. I don't know, I'm so used to the headband, although this is objectively a lot better. Anyway, finally, moving on to the builds, Mr. Freeze gets a snowmobile that's weird. I like the sand blue bits on it, though, and also you can see a newly molded silver tile. Yeah, there are a lot of new molds in these sets, and this one is a 2x2 tile with, a fan design, which is interesting. Before we move on to the main build, you can also see a couple other new molds in terms of accessories, where you get a couple of, what look like grenade pieces in silver, which are interesting. Don't know how those fit into the set. as well as a grappling hook. I guess you could fire either of those out of the stud shooter. Another new mold is on the vehicle itself, where you have 4 of these missile warhead pieces in silver. So a lot of cool new parts. The build itself is interesting because it looks like a mini tumbler, but in fact it's 2 bat cycles that can split apart but also form together. I think it's a really cool looking build, in all honesty. I mean, you have room to sit both figures, you have some thrusters at the back, big wheels in the back, small wheels in the front, Batwings. I mean, like, this is one of my favorite sets. And really, the main reason is because, I mean, first off, I really like Mr. Freeze's head, but the main reason is because this build does look awesome. Like, there are so many superhero sets that come with terrible builds that no one wants it because they know you're going to buy the set for the figures. But this build is really good, and the figures are really good. This is a solid $20 superhero set, and we don't see those very often, so I mean, yeah, cool set. Not sure if I'll be picking it up personally, but it's nice. The next set, though, is one I'll be sure to pick up because it is fantastic. It is the Batmobile, Pursuit of the Joker, with 342 pieces and 2 minifigures. Yeah, I guess LEGO realized that the build was really good, and they had to make the set lame somehow, so we only get 2 figures, and one of them is Batman. Thanks, LEGO. Also, just a side note, but I don't like how Batman is back to not having dual-molded legs. Like, it's so inconsistent. Come on, LEGO, you've had the parts for 5 years. Surely, once you've already made the double-molded legs, they shouldn't cost much more than just a normal pair of legs. I mean, like, the reason they were so expensive, and in general, the reason most new recolors of parts and double-molded legs are expensive, is because it costs money to put a part in a new color. Say, for example, if LEGO wanted to make, say, for the light gray Batman we had earlier this year, if LEGO wanted to make that Batman and give that Batman double-molded legs, it would cost them money to make a new set of double-molded legs that was light gray and black. But since LEGO's already made the mold in the correct color, I don't see the issue. Anyway, the Joker is of course based off of his design from DC Supervillains, which we all expected. He has the same face that appeared in the Junior set from last year, I think, where on the other side he has an angry face, like a frown. And while he is based off of DC Supervillains, he is of course missing the arm printing because, I mean, to be fair, I kind of understand it since this set is only $30. Again, it's not something that bothers me here. The lack of detailed printing more so bothers me when it's in more expensive sets, or sets that are super overpriced. But this set has a really good price-to-part ratio, and because of that, the minifig ratio is okay. As well as the lack of detail. A weird thing on the Joker, though, is that in the game he has a card in his pocket, and that's missing. I have no idea why they changed that. Kinda would have been nice if he came with, like, an accessory of a Joker card on a tile, though, but that's not necessary. Anyway, starting off, you can see that the set comes with a ton of the new Bat gear pieces in gunmetal gray, which is cool, as well as, a classic Batarang, and a stud gun for the Joker, shooting some green studs. Weird how those are opaque and not transparent, so I don't exactly know what he's shooting there. And you also get a couple of silver studs for the Batmobile, and this Batmobile is easily, in my opinion, the best LEGO Batmobile they've done in a long while. Only going with, like, their original designs, I mean. And I say original loosely, you know what I mean. The ones that aren't based specifically on a specific design. Like the 60s one and the Batman v Superman one, not those. This is my personal favorite design, I think, for a original LEGO Batmobile. Which is good, since it does what a lot of these sets should do, as in it takes cues from other Batman media, as this is very clearly inspired by the Keaton Batmobile, but interestingly, even more apparently, it also takes a lot of cues from the classic LEGO Ultimate Collector Series Batmobile from 2006. And that's just really cool to me. I mean, like the hood at the front, the battering ram at the front, the headlights, the Batman symbols, and the wheels. This does look a lot like a modern interpretation of that classic set, which is so cool. You have tubing on the sides, which I think should be black. The gray stands out a bit, but it's fine. The canopy is nice and slim, and it looks like it folds open rather than just popping off, which is nice. And the Batwings in the back are not the standard pieces, no. Those are, I guess, to make them less oversized and look better. They're using the Harry Potter Thestral wings in black, with no transparency to them. So that's a new color to just get them in jet black. And that's really cool, and I can imagine people using these not just for Batman mocks, but for all sorts of animal mocks as well, like for bats and dragons. Now that's cool. So yeah, cool recolor, really cool set. This is one of the two that I'm really going to go out of my way to try to get. And luckily it's cheap. I mean, it's only $30. This is a good set. This next set, though, I'm not so sure about. This is Batman, Batwing, and the Riddler Pursuit, a 489-piece set for $50, including 4 minifigures. Those being Batman, Commissioner Gordon, Shazam, and the Riddler. Batman is the same as ever. The Riddler... Look, it's accurate to the source material, but that doesn't mean anything when the source material looks like trash. I mean, why is he lime green? I don't have a good picture of his face, but he looks like the Hamburglar from McDonald's, except he looks even more like a cheap hamburger mascot than the cheap hamburger mascot. He has, like, orange sideburns and a scruffy neckbeard, and I mean... Could they really not have brought back the hairpiece from the Lego Batman movie? Or the cane? Like, I get, like, this figure is lime green, so, like, they could have brought back those pieces and it would have been unique. Heck, I didn't even care that much about the hair. Why does he have a golden crowbar again? In that Riddler Racer set, Lego made such a perfect piece for the Riddler's cane. Why are they ditching it? Yeah. Anyway, Shazam is alright, no hairpiece. It totally makes sense why we're getting him in this set, because, you know, Shazam movie. A lot of people are telling me it's good, but I don't care. I checked out the DCEU a while ago. I'm done. But yeah, he's alright. New face print, new torso. I mean, it's cool to finally get a Shazam that isn't a $2 billion Comic-Con exclusive. And then you get Commissioner Gordon, who's pretty cool. He's very Gary Oldman. Weird how they decided to go with more of, you know, a Gary Oldman Dark Knight trilogy design rather than the design we saw in DC Supervillains, but again, that's another thing that I like, because there are little things where this does sort of pay tribute to the 80th anniversary of Batman and to his history. Too bad we don't get a lot of that in these sets, which is lame. Anyway, moving on to the builds, we get a really awesome GCPD car. That's the best thing here. I mean, just look at that. That's so snazzy. And then we get a Batwing that is flat. Like, look at those wings. That is painful to look at. That is just so weird looking. That is bad, and we just had a Batwing in that Brother Eye set. I mean, this one looks better than that in terms of shaping. But this one has no angles or aerodynamics to it. I mean, I guess it's well prepared. I mean, you get a couple stud guns that can shoot more of those grenade pieces off, as well as some of those new tile cannons from the Lego City Fire sets. But yeah, oh, and then you get the Riddler copter, which is literally just the Batcopter from the 60s Batcave, but they took off the wings, and now there's a chain so you can pull up a safe, and the safe's nice, but I mean, really... it's literally the same build. Like, there are a couple minor changes, but, like, the canopy design is the same, the rotors are the same. They even use the same little silver cones attached to Exoforce hands to add detail in the back. It's kind of ridiculous. This is not a good set, in my opinion. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not good. You know what else isn't good? Batcave Clayface Invasion, with 1,037 pieces, 6 minifigures, and 1 absolute chunky boy. This is a set I was so excited for, and a set that I am so disappointed by. Going down to look at the figures again, we're starting off in a good place with 3 reprints. That's right. Batman is the same one in all the sets, Robin's the same from the $20 set, and Batwoman's the same from last year. And did I say 3? I mean 4, because, well, Bruce Wayne is a new variant of him. He doesn't have any new prints. He has the face of Cosmonauta from the Star Wars Resistance sets, and the torso is just from the orange hair guy from the big Jurassic World mansion from last year. So our only 2 new minifigures are our villains. Catwoman is really cool, and unlike every other villain here, she actually had the initiative to use a piece from her Batman movie figure, in this case the cowl, and then they printed silver for the goggles, and that looks fantastic. Catwoman is legitimately an awesome minifigure, probably one of the best of this new line, and she has red printing for the lenses on her face, which is good. The torso is simple but good. I mean, Catwoman's great. The other villain is also pretty cool. It's Two-Face, and since he's based off of his Rebirth appearance, I mean, I guess it only took DC 80 years to realize that while his face might look super spooky, the two-sided suit where one side's burnt kind of looks stupid, so I'm glad they ditched that finally. His torso is dark red, and it's a really cool design. You never really see dark red suits in LEGO. In fact, the only one I can think of is the Gringotts Goblin from 2002, so, you know, cool to finally get something like that again. The face looks good, and the hairpiece is interesting, because for the first time ever, LEGO doesn't actually have a double-sided hairpiece for Two-Face. Instead, it's the normal Widow's Peak hairpiece with just purple printed on one side. So that's not a new mold, which is surprising, and I really like the look of it. Like, I mean, this is probably my favorite Catwoman to date, and my favorite Two-Face to date. So what do you know? This set has some goods to it. And then there's Clayface. Dear gosh. Okay, so a lot of people, myself included, were hoping that this set would finally give us the Clayface minifigure we've been craving since LEGO Batman the video game all the way back in 2008. But it didn't. The set didn't even give us a big fig Clayface, which is what a lot of us, including myself, weren't hoping for but were expecting. Now, instead, we get this cheap version of the Clayface from the Batman movie, except now we have a bunch of stickers and the colors are inconsistent. And there's way more gray showing. I mean, I don't even have to explain why this guy's bad. Just look at him. He looks lame. But yeah, oh, and also, quick thing with the minifigure selection, I was really hoping that we would get, like, a new Alfred based on the comics, since we haven't had a comic book Alfred since 2006. But nope. I was also really hoping that we might finally get a figure of Oracle, you know, Barbara Gordon, but, you know, that also didn't happen. Wonderful. Still don't know who the heck Batwoman is, and I still don't care, so that's nice. Oh, and then you get a Bat Tank. I mean, it's acceptable. I mean, it could be worse. But then moving on to the build that was nearly good, but has a couple of minor things that completely destroy it. The Batcave. Hoo boy, this Batcave should have been so much more than it is. Starting off on the left, you have a single-person prison cell that has completely bland and has nothing interesting about it. I mean, like, it's not as though we need a perfect thing, but, like, really? The 2006 version had such an awesome prison cell. If I remember correctly, there was, like, a trapdoor to fall in, there was room for, like, so many figures in there, and you could break out through the sewers. I mean, that was a really cool thing. Even the 2012 one came with its own really nice built-up design. Even the LEGO Batman movie, as chintzy as that one was, at least that gave you a larger cell. This cell can fit one minifigure, and it looks like there's going to be so little space in there that they're going to be lying down, probably. I mean, that's just cheap. Could they really not have just included the extra couple of tall panel pieces to make this wider? Really disappointing in my eyes. There's going to be a feature to blow out the wall, and up top you get a satellite. For the main section, we instantly have a weird thing where instead of giving us a printed Batman bat signal, we get a brick-built one, which is interesting. I'm not going to lie, that is interesting. Not a big fan of the gunmetal there. Probably would have liked it more if, first off, they'd given a backdrop to the trans yellow piece. Like, maybe put a trans black plate behind that and then do the yellow. And also then do the bat piece in black. Like, I know that would be a recolor, but that's $100, man. It's in the budget. No new molds. You can afford it. They should have done it. Anyway, and then, but the trophy room on the bottom left, you get the trophy room, and that's fantastic. I mean, you get a little dino, which looks to be an unprinted sand green version, which is cool. And you get the Abe Lincoln penny, which is cool, and a Joker card. And obviously, those are super small and should be way bigger, but I mean, you know, take what you can get. You also get an equipment room on the right, which is fine. The back computer is easily the best design since 2006. It's not as good as the one from 2006, but it's a lot better than most of the other ones we've had. Then on the left, we have some weird saw thing, I guess a backpack. And on the right, we have a weight set and a can of, I don't know, drink. I like that we get a weight set, though. That's another nice little reference to the 2006 sets, which is something I really like, and I'm glad that LEGO's at least doing a couple of them, even if they should be doing more. And then on the right, you have the suit-changing chamber, which is just lifted from the 2006 version, but this time you have some new pipe pieces on the sides, and the phones up top. No real backdrop this time, which is unfortunate, but I think it does look nice. What doesn't look nice is all the brown on this set. Now, I don't know why LEGO is consistently making the color schemes of Batcaves worse, but I don't think we can go down more from here. Like, I thought it was bad enough when the LEGO Batman movie gave us a tan Batcave, but brown? Why is the Batcave brown? It should just be gray and black, like Batman. I mean, yeah, I guess to be fair, this set isn't as bad as I said it was at the beginning of this segment, but it's still quite a disappointment in my opinion. But hey, while this is the last main set, there are still 2 junior sets, because of course there are, so let's take a look at those. Starting with Batman versus the Riddler Robbery, with 59 pieces for $10. This set sucks. I mean, like, the Batman minifigure is the same one we've been getting since 2012, which, I mean, I guess is cool for all you people that still don't have this guy. I mean, LEGO only made an entire movie where he came in every single set. And then you get the Riddler, who's literally the same one as the other set. They couldn't even give us a new face print. They really should have sprung for a different villain in this set to give this more flair. Like, all of the other sets, and in general, most superhero sets, a lot of the drive to buy them comes because they come with a cool exclusive villain figure. And it's not as though this line covered every single Batman villain ever. Like, where's the Penguin? They should have put the Penguin in this set. That would have been cool. We could have gotten a new version of the Penguin. And that's just an idea. Obviously there are more, but that's just the one that instantly comes to mind. Anyway, the build is the Batmobile design that's come in junior sets before, and you get an ATM. Yeah, I'm moving on to the actually good junior set. That's the other set of the line I'm definitely going to try to get. We have Batman and the Joker Escape, which is 171 pieces for $40. Yeah, the price is definitely a bit high, but this set is fantastic. First off, minifigs. You get Batman and you get a prison guard. Nice new torso for the prison guard. He has angry clone face, though, which is wonderful. But then the 2 awesome figures are the Joker and Harley Quinn. They both get new torso prints, and Harley has a new face print, which is double-sided, with one side being a smile and the other side having her blowing gum, which is adorable. And the hairpiece is a blonde piece with pink on one side and blue on the other, so it's the same coloring as Suicide Squad. But unlike the LEGO movie Apocalypseburg Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, this figure actually has blonde hair instead of white, which is a legitimate improvement. That's cool. Oh, and then also for accessories, you get a purple top hat, which is nice. You get a bat, which is nice, and you get a megaphone, which is nice, and you get some bombs, which is nice. You get Harley's motorcycle, which is nice. You get a catapult for the bombs, which is nice. You get a helicopter for Batman, which isn't nice because it looks bad. And then you get the Arkham, which is really nice because, it's sand green, man. I mean, like, that's quite a few new parts in sand green from what I can tell. And I mean, I love sand green. It's my favorite color in the LEGO lexicon. So I'm glad to get so many new parts in it, like those castle walls, the tower pieces, and sand green and dark green is just an interesting color scheme for a building, and I hope LEGO does more stuff with this scheme, because this looks good. Now, like all junior sets, this set is overpriced, and it is starting to really tick me off, because, like, none of these sets have exclusive parts anymore. Like, I kind of understood back in 2014 when LEGO was having to make all these special parts, but I mean, come on! This set doesn't have any new molds at all, and it only, I mean, judging by what I'm looking at, it only seems to have one exclusive printed brick, and yeah, it's one of those big door pieces, but it's one thing. One! Printing a big piece like that shouldn't cost much more than printing a tiny thing. I mean, it's still just applying a single stamp onto a piece of a set size. I don't know. The set should be $30 by all accounts. I'm gonna wait for a price drop, definitely, and I'd recommend you do as well if you plan on picking up this set. But yeah, just to recap, the worst set is definitely the Riddler Robbery, because it's lame and not interesting. The next set is the other Riddler set in terms of worstness, because, I mean, you get a nice car, and Shazam's good, but I mean, there's nothing else good here. Then is the Batcave, because it's lame. Then is the Mr. Freeze set, because it's legitimately cool, but it definitely has flaws. Next up is the Arkham set, because it's really cool, but is overpriced as heck. Best set is the Batmobile Pursuit of the Joker, because it's awesome. And going through these sets, I'll just give a couple of quick ideas for how they could have improved these, to make them more, special for Batman's 80th anniversary. There's a chance I might make a more in-depth video on this for the future, but Batman vs. the Riddler Robbery, I don't really care. Just throw in, like, a different villain. I don't know, this set doesn't interest me at all. Moving on, didn't have any potential. This set should have been based on the 1989 Batman movie, since, it has that design of Batwing, so instead of giving us this, instead of giving us a ripoff of the 60s Batcopter with the Riddler, maybe keep the Riddler in that $10 set and have this set include the Joker. And, like, a goon. Like the classic 2006 set. You see what I'm getting at? Remake the classic. So you get that, you get a Joker copter, still include the Commish and Shazam, so maybe don't have a goon, have, like, Batman, Joker, Shazam, and the Commissioner Gordon. Same design for the Batwing, because that's fine, I guess. Same design for the car, because that's cool. Retool the copter. I mean, yeah, cool. Make a cool Batman 89 set. Batcave, don't go for a specific thing. Just make it a remake of the original classic. Include a Batman, include Bruce Wayne, include Tim Drake Robin, include Alfred, include Mr. Freeze, maybe a different variant of him. Definitely include the Penguin, since this would be where he fits in, now that I'm thinking about it, since he wouldn't be in the $10 set, because that would be the only set to get Riddler in. Add in a goon. Also include Oracle, because we should have Oracle by this point. Lego Batman's been going for 13 years. Why don't we have a figure of Oracle? And maybe give us a minifigure version of Clayface. I think instead of take away the Clayface build and devote some more of those parts to the actual cave, and maybe reform the Bat Tank into a better Bat vehicle, like maybe the Bat Ski. The cool vehicle from the original Batcave from 2006, and take out all the brown from the build, because if this set didn't have so much brown to it, it would look really cool. Oh, and also maybe keep the villains here. Like, forget the thing I said about having Mr. Freeze in here again. It doesn't need to be 1-to-1. So just have, like, the two villains we have here, plus the Penguin, since he wouldn't need any new molds, and probably not even a new face. Maybe not even a new torso. You could literally just throw in the 2013 Penguin. He's still pretty awesome. And give us a Clayface minifig. Take out Batwoman, though, because she sucks. Moving on. This set is pretty good. I mean, like, maybe change up the figures to be more animated series, so give Mr. Freeze different arms and legs, and make Robin not Dick... make Robin, yes, Dick Grayson. But, I mean, I don't know. This set's pretty cool. This set's fine. Maybe, like, if you really want to go for it, maybe, like, change the Joker to give him the Doctor Who hair and green to look more like Joker from the Arkham games. But this is a set for 4-year-olds, so I don't think that's necessary. The set's fine the way it is and really cool. And then this set, I mean, it's fine. It's another one that's fine. Maybe, I mean, like, I haven't really thought of it in terms of just, like, changing the sets very simply. There isn't a lot to do. But in general, I think it would have been nice if maybe each of these sets, like, in their entirety, could have had their own distinct Batman style. Like, just as an idea, it would have been cool if maybe one of the sets could have been a Batman 60s set. And since this isn't a UCS set, they could have actually given us a new mold to accurately represent the Adam West Batman cowl. Maybe one of the sets could have been based on the original design of Batman from the original run of Detective Comics, where, you know, he's a purple Batman. Yeah, that could have been fun. Maybe we could have gotten a set. I mean, like, I'm just brainstorming here. I think that could have been cool since this is, again, Batman's anniversary. But I'm just nitpicking here. I've already given you my objective opinions on the sets. Really, this set and the Arkham are really the ways to go. Also, the Mr. Freeze one is pretty good. The other sets I would definitely pass on unless you really like them.